is Maria.
This is Hester.
And together we are the Consort Counsellors.
Welcome to a very special episode of Consort Counsellors.
Today we are going to focus a little bit deeper on the arrangements of vocal repertoire and the performance of vocal repertoire.
And then, instead of our regular 30 seconds tip, we have a quiz for you, because we want to celebrate that we have reached the milestone of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Would you like to win an exclusive prize from the Consort Counsellors? Please watch this video until the very end.
In episode 30, we presented to you a very practical method to transcribe vocal music for recorded concert, and we invited you to try it out and maybe send us the result of your work.
David Allen sent us an arrangement of an 8-part motet by Cristóbal de Morales, Andreas, Christi, Famulus, and he played this piece with his group. They played the 3 top lines on recorders, 2 tenors and a bass, and the lower 5 voices on viols. In this way they stay within the actual pitch of the human voices, and we are sure it sounds beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. We also received a transcription of a madrigal by Monteverdi, Non giacinti o narcisi, made by Angela Salvaggione. Thank you, Angela. Angela found out that the 2 top voices would perfectly fit the range of soprano recorders, but they would also fit the range of alto recorders. The soprano recorders would be playing rather low, the alto recorders in the middle and higher register, and this was her choice, to keep 2 alto recorders for the 2 top voices.
How can you know what's likely to be the best option when the range of the voice suits 2 different sizes of recorders? In general, the middle and the high register of the recorder are a bit more flexible than the low register. Staying around the left-hand area and the second register gives you more possibilities for the flexibility of the sound, and it is also much more comfortable to play.
It is usually a good idea to avoid an octave gap between different voices. If Angela had chosen for 2 soprano recorders for the 2 top lines, there would be an octave gap. The sopranos on the top lines, tenor on the 3rd line, and this probably would create some difficulties in balance and mix, as the sopranos would stick out in sound a little bit.
When you play early repertoire like Renaissance polyphony, usually you have enough with 3 consecutive sizes of recorder, for example alto, tenor and bass. And this is also the case in this madrigal. If you would like to get a bit closer to the way the pieces were performed back then, use a 4th size of a recorder only when it's essential.
Being practical musicians ourselves, we can't avoid adding the following tip: try everything, because perhaps you find out that a soprano and an alto, or an alto and a soprano for the second voice, or 2 sopranos or 2 altos, they all sound different. And it's always a good idea to try all the options so that you also develop a sense of what is the best solution for particular sort of pieces.
Trial and error.
Not all arrangements we received are as early as Monteverdi and Cristóbal de Morales. Mark Chapman sent us a lovely arrangement of the 19th century song by the English composer Robert Lç Pearsall, Who Shall Have My Lady Fair. If you like to try something different and cheerful, then have a go.
Charbel Abi Nader from Lebanon arranged more than 10 Maronite hymns to be performed by a recorder quartet. Thank you, Charbel.
Thank you.
Maronite hymns are traditional melodies that are sung by the Christians in Lebanon. The melodies are beautiful and the arrangements are very well done. Perfection lies in simplicity here. When arranging melodies like these, you have a lot of choices to make. For example, in which line, in which voice do you put the melody? It's not always the case that you have to put it in the soprano or in the top line. You can also choose to put it in the middle voices and let the top line and the bass accompany. That might create interesting colors. Good luck!
good friend of ours here in the Netherlands, his name is Thijs, also reacted to our episode 30, and he told us it would be interesting to have some more tips to actually perform vocal music. How can the text particularly be a nice guide to rehearse and perform this music?
To answer this question, we continue with 10 quick tips to work with the text when playing vocal music on recorders.
Connect the punctuation of the text with your musical phrasing. For example, if there is a comma in the text, consider the note after the comma as a new beginning. Take breath before or separate it slightly from the previous note.
A spoken phrase usually has a clear direction to the most important words. It is a good idea to say the phrase that you are going to play a few times in a row and find the best emphasis and intonation. Flow, my tears, fall from your springs. You can put the same feeling of direction into your music. Check episode 29 for more exercises.
Taking the previous tip even a step further, compare how you say or sing a phrase and how you play it. Are there any obvious differences that you may like to bring closer together?
Vocal music is syllabic when each note gets its own syllable, and melismatic when one syllable is extended over a longer passage with many notes. In some pieces you will find both styles of writing, and it is maybe nice to make a little difference between them. For example, you can have a slightly more active articulation or play a little bit more separate in a syllabic section and play the melismas as connected as possible.
Look for obvious connections between the different sentences of the text and the phrases or sections of the music. For example, you will usually find an important cadence in the end of each sentence of the text. It is important to give enough attention to these transitions. How are the phrases connected? Is there a clear ending and then you have a chance to take breath and start with something new? Or are they really overlapping, and what does that all mean in the development of the piece?
Connect the character of the text with your way of playing. Think of what kind of sound, what kind of articulation, what speed and timing belongs to the main mood of the piece, or to the main mood of a phrase, or even of a word. We give you 3 short examples.
Settings of texts, very often we have to deal with repetition. Maybe a word or a clause or a whole phrase is repeated twice or more times. And what does that mean to you? Is the music actually getting more intense by repetition, or is its repetition rather an echo and a softening of the previous?
Our perception of music is often very much focused on melody. We enjoy playing the different combination of beautiful intervals. However, when we play vocal music, we will often come across repeated pitches. A singer naturally gives different colors to these repeated pitches because of the different syllables they sing. As recorder players, we can vary the attack, the articulation, the length, the shape and the color of these repeated pitches to suggest the same effect. See how far you dare to go.
Attention to the closure of their words and therefore also to the closure of each phrase. And your phrase is like a singer with great care for the length, shape and closure of your final notes. You can even imagine that there is a choir conductor in front of you helping you with the shape and closure of the perfect ending.
The last tip may seem a little bit paradoxical. Text is essential, but it's not everything. We are instrumentalists, and as such we take our inspiration from the text in all the way we just mentioned before, but we can also go too far and play each comma, create different colors on each syllable and all the repeated pitches. And like that we may be ending up a little bit too worried and the playing might become a little bit unnatural. Like it is with everything else, let's look for a good balance.
Remember as well that the earlier the music you play, the more chance that the text placing is actually not entirely clear and in some cases maybe also not the most important thing. So it depends also a little bit on which repertoire you're playing. As you know, very recently we reached the milestone of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much for following us, for watching our videos, for sending us your comments. We have prepared something very special to celebrate this wonderful news. A quiz with 3 questions, which is based on information that we have shared with you on some of our previous episodes. You have to send the correct answer to these 3 questions to consortcounsellors@gmail.com by the 15th of November 2018. If you do, you will enter the lottery to win our very special package consisting of a signed CD of Seldom Recorder Quintet and an ultra exclusive, unique coffee thermocan of the Consort Counsellors. We will announce the winners on Monday the 17th of November, and it can be you.
If you are watching this video after the 15th of November, do not worry, because when we come to the magic number of 1500 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we do something special again. So please do tell your friends about our channel and invite them to subscribe. Here are the questions for the quiz.
How many extra notes did Silvestro Ganassi discover in the high register of the alto recorder?
According to the Consort Counsellors, what are the 3 possible purposes of an alternative fingering?
In one of our early episodes, we spoke about 4 body parts that have a major influence in the position of the tongue and also in the way in which the air flows into the recorder. Which 4 body parts are these?
Good luck with the quiz, and we are looking forward to receiving your answers.
Yes, get watching, get replying, and good luck with the lottery.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.